Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Get Into It. I'm just going to turn this light off here. We don't need that. And if you guys hear my fans and it's bothering you, please let me know. Tonight, I have a great show planned. Um, this is an artist who I've been enjoying the work, seeing what he posts and stuff, and I love his art style. So I reached out and asked if he'd want to come on and chat, and he said yes. And I think it's awesome. So let's bring on. Let's see, where is he? There he is. Let's bring on Robert Powers. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good, Mike. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for coming on. I wanted to say this, and just in case anybody watching is a little confused, there's another artist named Robert Powers who works in animation. I don't know if you're familiar with him at all, but he actually, we went to high school together, and he was a grade under me. And our goal was both to be animators, and he worked more in the industry than I did. But I was like, I just want to make sure people understand you're a comic artist and
Yeah, comics and a bunch of other stuff, but yeah.
design and yeah. Uh, so just quickly, because I was rereading your bio right before we came back on. You said you were a designer. Is that like graphic design or?
Yeah, graphic design, branding, things like that.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, cool, cool. I used to teach that. I actually loved. I worked in graphic design for like 7 years, and then I couldn't do it anymore, and I went and taught graphic design. So, well, first of all, thanks again for coming on. So, what I like to do when I start any show is learn about you, like find out how you got into art, into comics, and again, who inspirations are. It doesn't have to be comic guys. Just what made you go into this field and become who you are today.
I'll be honest, I kind of fell into it.
Okay.
I would doodle for fun as a kid. I never really took it seriously. It was something that I would do to pass the time in school.
Okay.
When I didn't have to pay attention or whenever I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But then I got into comics in like the late '90s, and I stumbled upon Calvin and Hobbes, and I fell in love with it. The storytelling, the panels, the way he painted and drew everything, like
Yeah.
it was amazing. I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So I started doing my own little random little things, and then I went into a comic shop with my dad one day, and
Yeah.
I saw Dale Keown's Pit
Okay.
sitting up, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is how cool comics could be." So I started getting into that, and then I started drawing more, and then I started getting some random paid work here and there to do stuff, and it kind of took off from there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you didn't know that was your goal. So what did you think you were going to do if it wasn't going to be art?
I honestly had no idea. I had no ambitious goals or anything to do anything with myself. I was just like I really didn't know what to do, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, okay, well, you mentioned Calvin and Hobbes, which I think might be considered one of the greatest strips of all time. I actually
100%.
have a print up there. I mean, I just would have to move some stuff out of the way, but I could just rotate. It's a print of the final strip. I look at it
Whoa.
that I got at New York Comic Con a couple of years ago. I haven't been since, so it was pre-pandemic. I haven't been since before the pandemic. And God, who was it? Was it King Features? I forget. Whoever syndicated them was there, and they were selling the prints for like I think maybe $20 or something. So I'm like, how do you pass that?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I actually have a piece hanging up on a wall. It's a fan art piece that my wife got for me off Etsy. It's really, I'll show it to you.
Okay, cool. Oh, that is very nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of that fan art is really, just really like in, inventive in the way they do stuff with the strip and different styles and what I actually like looking at the stuff a
Yeah.
lot since there's nothing out there that you can actually buy. of Calvin and Hobbes. You know, it's
Right. And if it is, it's not real. It's not real.
exactly, exactly. Did you ever just on the Calvin and Hobbes? Did you ever read that thing somebody wrote about like the future of like Calvin, but
Yes.
like in the hospital? Oh
Yes.
my God, that brings me to tears.
It killed me. It was right up there with the movie Up from Pixar.
Yeah,
I had the same feels.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I just rewatched that. It was on the other day. My wife was watching. I walked into the room and
It's a classic.
I couldn't. I just want to say hi to who's that Che in here. Boy and Tiger, adorable characters. Yeah. So thanks. Good to see you back on the show here. So yeah. So when you started drawing, obviously you fell in love with Calvin and Hobbes. Were you drawing trying to emulate what he did, or did you have a different style and you just kind of?
I was trying to learn just how to draw in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I could doodle here and there, but I was like, how do they know how to move the character at different how do they know how to show the character at just the right angle for just the right like portrayal of what they're trying to show? And
Yeah.
it was something that always blew my mind, and just turns out the more you do it, the easier it gets, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you? Because I'm always fascinated about how people learn. You know, I mean, there's always kind of you take classes, you read books, you watch videos, whatever. But for you, like, what was that path? Were you like, I'm going to go out and get some books, or did you just copy? Like,
I, as long as I can remember, I've always been an art book collector. So I
okay,
would collect art books like The Art of the Matrix, The Art of God of War, the video
yeah,
game, The Art of, like, you name it. I got almost a library full of art books in here.
yeah.
So I would study them, and especially like the video game like the Capcom art books
Oh,
that
those are
shows like the
great.
different concept character designs.
Yeah,
I That's what I want. Once I figured out that you could do that, I'm like, people get paid to come up with concepts for characters.
yeah,
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And so I was just focused on getting the human form as best as I could in my own way, you
mm,
know? And yeah, I just self-taught, and then eventually YouTube came around because that was still like in high school, graduated in 99.
okay.
YouTube was, I think it was, I don't know if it was already out yet or not. It might have been just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't remember when that. Wow, wow. That's pretty interesting though. Like, that's pretty cool that you because I have a bunch. Like I could the ones closest to me are of Lord of the Rings stuff, but
We have that too.
yeah,
We have that too.
I love it.
I picked up the Art of the Labyrinth.
Oh, that must
That
be
It's
amazing to see.
so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, I got a few Disney movies somewhere in here, and I got Lord of the Rings. I'm just looking to see if I got anything I could pull. Well, not pull, but just quickly near me. I have two shelves next to me. I call them my inspiration shelves. So it's like where I go to grab the stuff I flip through all the time. But
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything readily available, interesting enough to show. But yeah, no, I love going through those books. That's fascinating because I taught myself how to draw by recording cartoons, playing them back, pausing a scene, and drawing what I saw on the
Oh.
TV.
I never did that, but I would go through like because I would record like when Ren and Stimpy came out. I
Mhm.
would record Ren and Stimpy, and I would just play it whenever I was doing stuff, hanging out, and um, I would pause it to see like the individual frames of how they drew stuff. I didn't like copy it. I wasn't drawing it at the time, but I was just so fascinated by the way they made the character move from one frame to another.
Yeah,
Like he looked like like a wave of motion. I'm like, that's like he's totally distorted, but it gives the sense of movement, even though he's just all weird and warped moving
yeah.
forward. I just found
That's
that really interesting.
yeah. No, that is because I would even when I wouldn't draw when I was trying to learn how to animate as a kid. I used to play the cartoons back in slow motion to see if I could see how things move.
Oh,
And I couldn't, I would have to rewind. Couldn't figure it out because even slow motion moved faster than flipping. Seeing the individual frames. It wasn't until I think I was in seventh or maybe eighth grade. I got the Chuck Amuck book, which is the story of Chuck Jones, and in there's a flip book. The whole book's a flip book. On the top, if you look, it's the Roadrunner, the coyote chasing the Roadrunner, and then
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
then
yeah,
it
yeah.
falls down, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. So like it took me a while to read that book because I started studying the top corner of the book so much, and that's actually how I started to learn how to animate. Was when I got that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and then when because I had picked up the Procreate app, and
Mhm.
they had, I think it was called Procreate Dreams for animation, but I don't think it can do what I want to do. Like I'm trying to do like an action scene or something,
Mhm.
and it's not meant for that. I don't think. I think it's meant for like simpler um commercial use,
Mhm.
you know?
You ever look up who was it? Aaron Blaze stuff? I know he has like a course, but
No.
he was a Disney animator who I think his like big movie like he might have been like the maybe one of the lead animators on or character designers was Brother Bear.
Oh,
Uh,
it's a great one.
yeah, and he draws a lot of cool bears. So look up Aaron Blaze.
Okay.
He has YouTube videos. He sells videos, but he has a tutorial. I don't know if it's free or not, but he had a tutorial on how to use Procreate Dreams to create animation.
Okay.
I
Nice.
was waiting for the second or third. I haven't bought it yet. I've been waiting for the second or third version. Well, I won't say recently. I bought
It's
it.
all, you know what I don't like? It's all gesture control.
Mhm.
It's like trying to learn sign language while learning a new app.
Yeah.
There's no buttons, it's gestures.
Oh, see, I haven't even looked at it. I
It's
don't know.
so weird. It's so weird.
I'm looking at. Well, I have Toon Squid on my
I
iPad,
heard of that. I've heard of that.
and it's kind of like drawing in Procreate, but meets like Adobe Animate a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. So there's like some flash animation abilities of creating symbols and stuff. I just haven't had time to really sit down and learn it the way I
Mm.
want to. But when I get through a few projects that I'm going to, that's like my downtime going to be my downtime project to really learn that because I do miss animating. I haven't animated in a while. And, I always like to do little comedy pieces like Hanna Barbera esque stuff. And,
That's cool.
that's my stuff. So anyway, you mentioned the pit. Okay, so you
Yeah.
go into a comic shop, you see the pit, which is 90s gorgeous art. You know,
Mhm.
and like that changed for you because you were obviously like Calvin Hobbes and maybe a few other strips at the time, and then you see and Chase says he has Procreate Dreams. Let us know if what you think of it. But you see the pit, and that's like all detailed muscles and all these
It blew me away. And
dynamic.
then it got me onto Dale Keown, and then I started looking up Dale Keown, and I was like, oh my God. And like, the first thing you do as a young artist is you compare yourself to others, which is the
Yeah,
worst thing you could fucking do.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I was because I grew up reading more strips than comic books. Like I started collecting when I was 13 in '89. My cousin had comic books, and I read them when I visit, but it was always the strips for me. And I was a
Okay.
fan. And when I'd go, I grew up in a town called Mayapack, New York, which is about an hour and a half north of New York City. But when we go visit my family, like my both sides, my dad's side, both were in Brooklyn. But my dad's side, my uncle was a big comic strip guy, and he would get the daily news all the time. And this guy could draw like nobody's business too.
Oh,
Unfortunately, he
wow.
never pursued a career, but we would sit and draw together. And he would draw everybody: Dick Tracy, the Phantom, Mandrake, whatever appeared. So we were doing story strips and cartoony stuff. He was drawing Spider-Man, for one thing. The next, we were drawing the Lockhorns together, and it was like just really, really cool,
That's cool. That's
Um,
cool.
but where I grew up, my newspaper didn't have all the story strips that the Daily News had. So when I would go visit, I would get to look at the daily strips, and he'd even
Okay.
save some throughout the week for me. So I really got into like the Phantom, and I got into I got into a lot like Prince Valiant, one of my all-time
I
favorites.
like the Phantom. I remember the
Yeah.
Phantom. Yeah.
And when I started learning about when I started seeing like um, the old what's it called, Prince Valiant strips, like I became obsessed with Hal Foster. I was
Okay.
just like, that dude to me might be the all-time greatest guy, and all I ever want, and I'll never draw like him, but all I ever wanted to do was draw like Hal Foster, and I learned I can emulate styles well doing
Hmm.
animation, but I can't emulate his. And but I've learned so much from him and reading that strip. And I don't know if you know, but they now have the new books out where it's like his papers with Macaulay, where who
No.
photographed. Oh my god! I got to show you this later. I'm not going to go look and pull it out right now,
Okay.
but later I will show you this book after the show.
Okay.
It's incredible. They're going to be doing like a 6-book series. They're like $50 a piece,
Ooh.
and oh, it's amazing. Anyway, that was my guy, but I also got into like Toth and Will Eisner, and like all the old timers were the people I was looking at. I didn't really follow many modern artists, you
Yeah,
know.
that's how I fell into with modern artists. It was Dale Keown, Joe Madura,
Mhm.
and who's that other guy? He draws girls really slender. You know what I'm talking about?
Campbell.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, listen, I loved all their work too. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because I collected in the '90s. Like, I stopped probably around 2010 or so,
Hmm.
where it was like a regular collecting. But but yeah, no, it's those. I mean, all those guys. I mean, I grew up with, in the, what's that documentary called? The Image Revolution.
Oh, I
You
heard
ever
about
see that
that. I
documentary?
heard. I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
But it's the story. Those were the guys that that was like I collected in '89. By '92, we had Image.
Yeah.
It was
And like there's something to be said for Marvel. Like I got into like Venom, but and then it turns out that the only reason I like that character because he was created by someone that worked for Image
yeah,
or created Image,
yeah.
and I was like, he's the only character I really thought was cool looking. Like all the other characters just seemed a little vanilla.
I always leaned a little more towards DC. I'm a big like Silver Age guy. I like the silliness of the Silver Age, but yeah, no, I liked. I don't know, like I don't know if it's just I never understood what it is about me, but I always go towards the old timers.
Mm.
So like my Spider-Man is Romita Senior's Spider-Man.
Okay.
Like that's how I look at it. Doesn't mean I don't like McFarlane's stuff and what he did. It's just
Right.
I prefer it to look that way. I prefer the era of Buscema of like I want to look at that's the Marvel stuff that I really thoroughly enjoy.
Mm.
Um, I look at some stuff today and I'm like, wow, this stuff's really beautifully illustrated,
Yeah.
and some of the stories sound great. I just I don't have comic shops near me; they all closed down. So
Mm.
it's like I have to wait for trades to come out when I'm ready to read something.
That's what I do now. I don't have the room to
Oh
start
yeah,
collecting.
me neither. I got rid of I had 30 boxes of comics when I got married. I'm down to 6. Some were
Yeah,
sold.
that's what I got. I got about 6 myself. Yeah, I was like, I can't part with these. These are what
Yeah,
I cannot part with.
yeah, yeah. There's a couple I'm regretting at times, but one really bothered me. I got rid of my all my like DC like animated books,
Hmm.
and I forgot to pull out Mad Love,
Oh no.
and so I sold a whole bunch for like $800, and that book was like $800 alone. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Like I was so upset by that.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, anyway, listen, it is what it is. I let it go. I'm buying them back in trades, the
There you
Batman the
go.
animated
Yeah.
adventures and Superman adventures and stuff. And I don't know if they have Justice League adventures yet, but I'll pick those up if they come out. But yeah, so okay. So anyway, we're gonna this is gonna take a while here. Let's get on track. So okay, so anyway, you got involved with the pit. You saw like that was the thing that changed you when you started drawing before you got your first work. Were you emulating these artists or were you developing your own style?
A little of both.
Hmm.
A little of both. I wanted to see if I could draw like them. Then I wanted to see what I could do to improve on the design of the character, or just try something a little different than what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
That's something I always did. I always like to, mix things up a little bit.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. That's cool. And when you started, what was your first? Doesn't have to be a paying gig, but what was your first like entry to the world of comics?
Jesus, I'm 45 years old now, bro. It's been a while. Um, the first thing into comics, working for I mean, the first official thing jumping into comics was creating my own comic.
Okay.
Yeah, before I did sketch covers for people, before I did comics for other people, I created my own and I put it out on Kickstarter.
And which one was that? That's the
That's that's Penguino's Revenge Volume 1.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And was that any of the artwork you sent me? I don't remember if that's
What's
in.
that?
Was that in any of the artwork you sent me?
I don't know.
Don't.
I don't think so. I sent you a bunch of different things, but
Yeah.
it might not be in there.
It, you got some really awesome stuff here. I'm looking at your work, and when I was putting
Thank
the
you.
ad together, I had a very hard time choosing the proper artwork. Like what works here that says I wanted to try to get a variety. So I think what did I use? Like a Wolverine you had, um,
Yeah.
My Hero Academia, and something else. I think it was like a werewolf or something with a gun or something like that.
Uh-huh.
That yeah, you do you have a variety of stuff you do here. Um,
Thank you.
oh, is this a Ghost Rider I missed? Damn. Oh no, like a Ghost Rider Predator thing.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I've been made a name for myself doing, is doing character mashups.
That's
And
awesome.
that goes back all the way back to when I first started drawing, is changing things up and making things my own.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And do you color yourself?
Yes.
Just yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. That because that's really nice. I'm doing some coloring work right now, and I know how to color. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't color like that, and I'm always impressed by
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's I love to look at work that I can't do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
or that I don't do.
I do too, and then I get in my head and I'm like, I gotta step away. Yeah. Like, why can't I do that? No.
Sorry, it's very
No.
hot. So tell me about the what was it called? Penguino's Revenge. Tell
Yeah.
me what was that book about? Like how did you come up with it? And
I sat down one day and I was like, this was like 2015. I think it was
okay,
2015.
yeah,
I sat down one day and I was like, I really want to do a comic. I really want to do a comic. And my friend was like, you should just do it. Just do it. Just start it.
yeah,
See where it goes. I'm like, okay. So I looked up online. I'm like, what's the proper procedure to creating a comic? First, you need a script. So I went down the line with all the information that I needed, created a script for something. And I just did one issue. I did one, I think it was like not even full 20 pages. I think it was like 17 or 18 pages.
okay,
And it was just to see if I liked the idea of making comics. So I went through the whole thing. I looked up tutorials and stuff. I did everything I could to like panel layout, flow, because writing for comics is completely different from writing from anything else.
yeah,
A lot of people get the idea in their head, they write it down, but you didn't write it down in a format for comics to be read.
yeah,
People usually don't see that. So I had to learn how to write for comics. Then I had to write the comic, come up with the characters, do the story and everything. And I was like, okay, I think I have a flow. So once I had that first draft, I started drawing on the iPad. I think it was the iPad Pro, the first gen
yeah, yeah,
iPad Pro. And I started breaking down the pages. I put them at 11 by 17. And then I started drawing in there, setting all the panels up, drawing in the panels, going layer by layer. Panels, sketches, inks, colors. Then I go to the next page. Same thing, same thing, same thing. Then I take that, bring it into Adobe Illustrator, put in my lettering, create a logo for the comic. I did the whole thing from start to finish to create a comic to see if I liked it, and I fell in love with it.
yeah,
I fell in love, and I haven't stopped since. I stopped recently. I had to take a little break because I had to pay some bills. But
Yeah, you gotta take the pain.
yeah, exactly.
I get it. Let me just say goodbye to Che. He said he's leaving early so he can go to sleep. Thanks for tuning in. You come back later and watch again. You know, this will be repeated, obviously. Um, as long as YouTube exists, this show will exist. That's how I look at it. But yeah, no, that's great. Did you and so just tell me because I've never read it. What's the story about?
It's about a samurai penguin on a bloody quest to save his family from captivity.
That's awesome.
That's
That,
the elevator pitch right there. It's
no,
full
no,
of adult humor, adult language, and gratuitous cartoon violence. That's what I
you
said.
you sold me just on the elevator pitch right there.
There you go.
It's so good. I mean, you hit everything I love. First of all, which is cartoon animals.
Yep.
I
And one of the reasons why I picked that is because I didn't want to get caught up into some tropes. I didn't want to get caught up into any people being offended by certain things. I still randomly would get people being like, "Oh, this is animal abuse,"
Mhm.
this is
Yeah,
violence towards animals. I'm like, dude, it's a cartoon.
yeah.
Like let's stop trying to look for a reason to get upset.
I mean, listen, people have been telling stories with animals for years. We can go back to Aesop's fables, but if you want to go to like cartoons, I mean, you look at Bugs Bunny. You know, it's the reason they use them is because animals are more believable for that type of stuff to happen to because
Hundred
we
percent.
understand like one of the reasons, and I'm one of the few guys probably in the world that's not a big Stooges fan. But like if somebody gets hit in the head with a hammer, we know what happens to a person getting hit in the head with a hammer. But if
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny gets or hits someone in the head, hits Daffy or whoever with a hammer, it's not going to kill them. It's going to flatten them. You
Right.
know,
Right.
and that's why I'm not actually a big Stooges fan. Is when I was a kid I was, but as I got older, I started seeing like they're just trying to be human cartoon characters, and it doesn't work in my eyes with what they're trying to do.
I mean, when I was a kid, I thought it was kind of funny to watch it, like to
Yeah,
see how these people acted and did their
yeah,
little
yeah.
stunts and stuff. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that I mean that's like I had to get. I remember having the Stooges Nintendo game and playing it all the time. I loved it. You know, it was. But yeah, as I got older, I'm very much more like wordplay, like Abbott and Costello type of humor as my old
Gotcha.
school guys to go to.
I prefer Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, no, that's it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's it's but that's a, we just rewatched that a couple of months ago too. It's such a
So
great
good.
movie.
So good.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. But yeah, no. So you have this, and I love the like. I don't draw those things. My thing about art or the way I draw is like I will read anything you put in front of me, but I don't like to draw overly violent or overly sexualized or bloody or whatever you want to call it. Don't want to do horror. I want something like when I create my art, I want someone who's like 7, 8 years old. They can pick it up and read it, and they can enjoy it with their parents or their grandparents or somebody, and they can all just have a And I'm not saying Disneyfy it at all. I'm not
Right,
because
right.
I just kind of have this like idea of all ages, and if it's not the way I censor myself. If you wouldn't see it in Star Wars or in like Batman the animated series, it's not going to be in my book. That's kind of
Gotcha.
my level of
Okay.
censorship. But I love that you chose samurai. I'm a big fan of like the martial arts, samurais, ninja stories. I take it you are too, not just because you create it, but your Instagram or social media handle is what is it? Uh, Something Shogun, right?
Def Shogun, yeah.
Death Shogun. So I'm assuming Shogun. Like when I saw that, I'm like, okay, he's into like the whole ninja samurai, maybe Shogun warriors type of giant.
Yeah, samurai
Like,
and stuff. Yeah, I love it. I love that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool, cool. So okay, so after that, um, when did you start working like doing pro work, if you
I
will, like companies hiring you?
I mean, after that, I once I started going to cons, it started to pick up. But I haven't been to cons in a while.
Yeah,
But once I started going to cons, then I started to get my name out there, meeting people, networking, and that's when things started to pop off a little bit.
okay.
And people like that first issue, and so then I was like, let me finish the story. And so what I said to myself is like, I'm gonna write this story out and I'm gonna let it go naturally, and I'm gonna let it write itself, and I'm gonna, steer it in the directions that I think it needs to go in, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it write itself and let it come to its own conclusion. When it comes to its own conclusion, it ended up being like 217 pages.
Wow.
And so it took 2 years to do that. I wrote it, drew it, inked it, colored it, formatted it, lettered it, the whole nine.
Mhm.
And then I made it a hardcover book, took it to Kickstarter. I put in a hefty goal. It exploded past that hefty goal.
That's awesome.
And I couldn't believe it. Once I got the books in, they came in on a pallet. They came on a pallet off a
Jeez.
box truck because they're giant. They were like they're bigger like hardcover books.
Yeah,
And like these boxes are like, oh my god, it was crazy. It was wild.
that's great. It sounds like some. Is it still available? 'Cause it sounds like something I need to buy.
It is still available, yeah.
Where do you sell? Is it just shows, or do you have an online store? Or
I have an online store right now, but it's currently under construction at the moment, fixing things up. But you can always just shoot me a message, man.
yeah, yeah, I'll have to talk to you after the show about it.
Yeah.
No, that sounds great. Totally, like I said, right up my alley with that type of stuff. And then you have another book you did called Cataclysm.
Yeah. Yeah, that was after Penguino. It's like I could make another Penguino book, or I could shift gears and try something completely different. So that's what Cataclysm was. And I'm a huge fan of the Pit. So I
Mhm.
wanted something big and gray, but I wanted my own version of what I think would look cool. So I
Okay.
gave him a bandana, gave him elbow spikes and stuff, and made him a demon. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. Um, you didn't. I don't think you sent me any work of him, or is this the character? I can't tell who this is. You
I
sent me.
can't.
No, I know. I'm looking at the stuff you sent me. Um, because it does really have a pit feel to it,
Uh
and
huh.
there's like some like I don't know demon snakes or something around him. Or hold on, I'm
He's
gonna
getting
just.
like pushed off a building, kind of thing.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just go into because it just says like image files and stuff.
Oh,
But
gotcha, gotcha.
let me see if I can double click on here.
I
Uh,
thought I dropped in.
let me. See.
Hang on here. I'm gonna send you something. All right.
Okay, yeah, yes,
All right.
and I'll take a look. Um, I'm just curious because I'd love to show some of your work on here too, so people can, if they've never seen your work, they can see what you do.
Right.
Like, you're gonna send it what through Facebook or?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to Facebook. One second.
Okay, let me open up Facebook then. This is, whoops. Okay, yeah, no, that's you know. Um, okay, let me download this. Um, save image as. Just send it to the desktop. Give me 1 second here,
Mm-hmm.
and open up. When it does that, but okay, there it is. Previewer. Let's see if I can see previewer here. Window, share. There we are. Cataclysm. Horseman of Apocalypse dropout who has been exiled to the wastelands of Hellscape to retrieve wandering souls for all eternity until he wants a vacation. Yeah, this is okay. The character, the piece I was going to show, and then this guy, what's it? Manic is his name?
Yeah, Manic is his basically his best friend, his right
Okay.
hand man, his buddy.
Yeah, let me just go back to the other thing I was going to show that I downloaded. Let me just find it really quick because this was gorgeous. And I mean, when I saw this piece, I was like, wow. Uh, these are the downloads. Nope. Hold on. Don't. You can't see what just popped up on screen. Thank God. That's what I'm doing. Uh, where the heck is my download? Oh, here it is. And open. this in here? Yeah. So this. Let me just share. I just want to switch out here. Replace. This was the piece that I was talking. So this is kind of like your character meets the pit, right? Or was that a mashup?
No, this is the pit
Okay.
and the darkness smash up.
Okay. All right. I couldn't tell. Oh, now I see the darkness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that was I loved that piece when I saw it.
Oh, thank you.
I love these mashups that you're doing because this guy I thought was the manic character for a second.
Ah, I see what you're saying. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. Okay, so let me just stop the share. So after that, when did you do? Why is it not letting me stop the share? Oh, there it goes. When did you do Cataclysm compared to the Penguin story?
I did it, I think, a year after. So in 2017, I dropped Penguino,
Okay.
and then a year after that, I did Cataclysm #1. I already finished Cataclysm #2. I just haven't brought it to print or anything yet. I
Okay.
haven't decided what I'm gonna do with that yet, but that's already all done. Uh, Penguino's Revenge has a. I'm working on a volume 2 right now. Um, which is called Penguino's Revenge Torment. So Penguino dies. I'm putting him out as separate issues. So
Okay.
Penguino dies, he goes to hell, and he has to fight his way through all the gates of hell, and to make his way out on the other side to get
I
out.
like that.
And all while he's learning more about, because on this run, I'm going to try and actually focus more on character building rather than just him violently cutting down a bunch of animals in his path. So yeah.
No, that's right. And so, okay. So anyway, so from there, you gave me a list of credits of things that you worked on, and you were telling me you've done some marketing work for some companies. You've done cover art. Um, so like, let's just talk about the cover art. We were talking about the TMNT and the Power Rangers crossover.
That was recent. That was
Yeah,
last year.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I know. I've seen them collected in trades now. So, like I said, that's how I get books, and
Hmm.
I'm a fan of both. It's funny actually. When Power Rangers came out, I wasn't. I was already in high school, but I'm like, this is kind of. I was a senior in high school when it came out. I was like, this is kind of cheesy. Not for
Yeah.
me. It's a. I didn't realize the whole Super Sentai background by then, but I'm like, this is a Voltron ripoff. I don't need this, and whatever. But then I started reading the comic, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I just decided to pick up something different. I'm like, comics are really good.
Yeah. It gets deep. It
Yeah,
gets deep. Yeah.
I was like, this. And then I started going back and trying to catch up on some of the shows. Like I only watched one series, and I don't remember
I
which.
feel like the shows don't really hit the same way the
Yeah,
comics do.
yeah, and I don't even remember the. Is it? I think he was a writer. Is it Perot? Is his last name or Pat? I don't know, but I'm like anything this guy wrote of the Power Rangers or drew. I don't remember which. Or I'm like I just love his stuff so much. He went on to do what was the one? Was it Image put it out? They wanted their own like Power Ranger book. There's like a red something and black something. I think it's Image, but he ended up going on and writing those books too. I think he still does Power Rangers though. I haven't been following too much, but I bought, like I said, I just picked up Power Rangers and with Godzilla. Teaming up with Godzilla. I have to read that one.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I picked up the TMNT Godzilla one. That's what I
Oh, that
decided
should be
on.
cool to see.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, I got it. I think maybe it was. I think it was Power Rangers. I got to look again. But I bought it, a few months ago, and I just put it in my pile. I said I want to read this. But yeah, no, there's some really good stuff out there. I'm like, it's amazing, the lore behind what they did. Like, and I was, and I don't know, you probably don't know the answer, but I don't know how much you follow. I was wondering if any of the lore that they created for the Power Rangers came out of the original Super Sentai stuff. Um, you know.
I mean, it might have subconsciously, because sometimes you're a product of your environment, and so whatever your brain's soaking up like a sponge, it'll spit back out, whether you realize it or not sometimes.
Yeah.
But I always try to deviate from what I see other people doing, but I see the formula of
Yeah.
why it works, and I would try to emulate that at least, and then just
That's kind of how I am too when I look at work. Like I love retro stuff, always have.
Mhm.
And right now I'm actually working on I'm going to call it a manga inspired book, because for it to be truly manga, it's got to go from left to right, right to left.
Oh
And
man.
it's a whole. Listen, I at my last job,
Oh man.
I became friends with some true mangakas, and they gave me lessons in the form of lectures,
uh-huh.
politely,
Uh-huh.
I will say. But yeah, I know, and they're not from Japan. They're in Europe and stuff, but they are published over in Japan. At least one or two of them are, and it's just one of those things where it's like, no, it has to be this way for it to be a true manga. So I call my work manga inspired. And
Okay.
I've been rereading a lot of the old like Captain Harlock and um, Star Blazers and those type of shows that I.
See, I liked Akira, Guyver,
Yep,
Trigun,
yep,
Evangelion.
yep.
There's a couple others.
I've watched them all.
Yeah.
I haven't read all. I've watched them all. I was a big Fist of North Star guy.
I
Um,
missed the boat on that. I
yeah,
missed the boat on that.
yeah, that was a good. If you can find it, the movie's kind of eh.
Hmm.
Like when you really look at it as a kid, you're like, oh, this is cool. It's just people kicking ass. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you look at it with adult eyes and a story knowledge of storytelling, it's like
Hmm.
it's not the greatest. But you know, if you want a good story, the books are good. So if you're into I don't know if you read manga, but the books are good.
Not really. Not really.
Okay.
No.
But yeah, no. So I'm reading all those things, and I'm doing like I love, like I mentioned Vulture. I'm a giant robot guy, and so I'm doing something on that. So I'm drawing, and I'm reading these old like 70s and early 80s manga to get the feel. So as I'm writing, I'm trying to get the feel of that era, so people can feel like they're reading something that has like history to it.
Right. Right.
So I'm doing the same thing. Actually, just getting back on the Super Sentai, I just read the original Super Sentai manga where it
Okay.
started, and it was pretty interesting, very cartoony too. I was surprised when I ordered the book. I ordered it and I got it, and it was like a very cartoony style. I was like
Hmm.
a little different than what I expected, but yeah. So okay, so how many covers did you do for the Power Rangers Ninja Turtle?
I only did the one. I
Okay, and
only
what
did the one.
what
Yeah.
number was that? It was a variant or a main?
It was an exclusive number one.
Oh, cool,
Issue one. Yeah.
cool, cool. I'm gonna have to look. I didn't get a chance to look anything up. I've been a little too busy, but I want to. I can't. I look forward to seeing that. Um, and for the other things here that you were talking about, you've worked for Marvel, DC, Warner Brothers, Disney. Is that's not comic art? That's more of your design.
Yeah, product design, like t-shirts, hats, hoodies, accessories, toys, things like that.
So you're doing like box art and stuff like
I
that, or
did it all. I did box art to concepts of different items, and like from candy dispensers, you name it, man.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fun stuff. I never got to work on things. I got to teach those things, but I
Mm.
never got to work for those types of companies there. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Um, and I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned Procreate Dreams earlier, so animation. Do you have any background in animation, or is this something you're interested in and just want to teach yourself?
I tried like a 30-second clip, and that 30-second clip took way too long for my ADHD brain to get the dopamine needed for me to enjoy it. So I was like, I'm never doing this again.
See, that's funny because my goal in life was to be an animator, and I did get to animate. Again, nothing for anything big, but I did get to animate. Actually, back in the late '90s, when you were graduating, I was doing like the Flash animation web banners on
Oh
websites
man.
and little
Yeah.
animated shorts and things like that. That was what I was doing. My first job I got when I was 18. I was still in college. It was 94. And I was doing character design and shortly after animation for educational video games. So like the games that kids would get in school on the CD-ROMs
Right,
back
right.
in the 90s and early 2000s. Though that's what I was working on and developing.
Oh, okay.
And but then I moved on, and by like 98, 99, up to maybe 2000, 2001, I was doing like flash animation. And yeah, no, it was pretty fun stuff. But then I always loved comics, and the only reason I started studying comic art was because I felt I could tell my story and jokes quicker in comic form than I could through animating.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was like, okay. And then I realized I only need me to do comics.
yeah.
I didn't
That's
need,
another reason why I enjoyed it, because
yeah,
I'm very self-sufficient in that fact, and I like to be secluded and tucked away in my little cave and work. You know,
yeah,
that's what I like to do. And comics kind of like, I don't know, kind of gave me a direction to put my attention to. You know.
yeah. Well, I always said they're the greatest storytelling medium we have. I think because you're limited to your imagination and your skill with a pencil.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you don't even need ink. You don't need color.
You don't even need to be that good with drawing, just
Yeah,
as long as you know how to lay it out right.
yeah.
Like,
And tell a good story or a good joke, and people will come back.
mm-hmm.
That's what I tell people all the time. I go out and I lecture on this stuff, and I talk at schools and libraries and stuff sometimes,
Mm.
and that's what I tell them: learn to write, learn to tell a story.
Yeah, that's the
you
most
know.
important thing.
But yeah, so with everything that you've done, and I'm going through your bio again. So let me before I get to that question. You do, it says you draw comics and covers live on Whatnot. Is that a weekly thing you do,
It's
or
a nightly thing I
oh,
do.
you do it every night? Am
Every
I
night
taking you away from it, or
I draw about 4 or 5 sketch covers a night for people.
wow, how long does that take you?
3 to 5 hours, depending on the detail.
So what time do you go on?
I usually go on at 8, and
Okay,
then I end around 11 or 12, sometimes 1.
man, I do not have the ability to do that after being in the studio all day working. I'm lucky I can do this, some nights. But yeah, no, I actually used to love to live draw. I used to do it on YouTube like once a week in addition to the show, and I just haven't done it. I'd like to get back into it. But how do you like? How do you? I don't go on Whatnot, so how do you like that?
At first, I was hesitant, but there was a buddy of mine, Todd Beats. He's another fantastic artist. You should give him a follow.
I know the
Uh,
name. I think I might follow him.
he's awesome, and we were talking, and I was like, I'm having a hard time finding work, and I really need to make the money. I got kids and everything, so I was starting to kind of freak out a little bit. And this was a couple years ago. He's like, dude, get on Whatnot. I was like, because I was on TikTok and I accrued over 120,000 followers, and I was like, holy shit,
Wow.
I'm rolling, right? I'm finally getting my name out there, and they banned me, so I no longer have access to that account.
Wow.
They banned me for sexual content.
Was that from your artwork or from?
Either from art or I don't know. I remember I tried to go live again on TikTok earlier this year, and I made a joke and I said subscribe to my OnlyFans, and I got banned
Oh,
immediately. So I mean,
oh my God.
I'm like, this is it's too sensitive. I can't do it TikTok. So I went to Whatnot, and I tried it, and with the help of my buddy Todd and everything, getting me introduced to his followers on the platform, I had a little bit of a leg up,
Yeah.
and it started to pop off. Yeah. And so I do it every weeknight. I do some sketch covers. Sometimes I'll do sketch cards, you know. But I offer all my services on there, like branding and character design or
Yeah. Yeah.
custom illustrations for business, things like that. Whatever someone might want.
Yeah.
You
That's pretty cool stuff. I like that. I
know.
have to check it out. I have a few friends that go on it, and I just haven't really.
I will tell you, I think because I've done live on Instagram, I've done live on TikTok, I've done live on Facebook. Um, I can tell you that I think Whatnot is probably the best in terms of community, because
Mm,
people are either there to watch you because they like it or they want to learn from you, or they're a buyer,
yeah.
and they want to buy from you and collect. And there's I can't think of one time where there was negative issues with people coming into the chat saying, "Oh, trying to put in their two-piece to something that you're working on." That's a total pet peeve, like a backseat art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I used to get that a lot on TikTok all the time because I would go live all the time on TikTok too, and I would do my digital art, do character mashups, commissions for people, and then I just switched it over to Whatnot, and it's been great. It's been steady growth. It's helped to blow up my Instagram as well because the more people order, the more I have to draw. The more I have to draw, the more I have to post. And it's just this domino effect. So
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. No, because I've never had a chance to really explore it. I
take a
try to.
look. Take a
Yeah,
look at it.
I try to stay on top of all the different sites that are out there and what's going on and stuff, but I find there's just way too many, and you know,
There are, but I stick to like two or three,
yeah,
and
yeah. I'm
that's
pretty
it.
much Instagram and YouTube. I mean, I'll go on Facebook, but that's really
Yeah,
more.
YouTube is great too. I did live on YouTube for a little while, but growth is really slow on YouTube
Yeah.
especially for art. Unless you
Yes.
have like a really professional setup that looks legit, I
Mm.
feel like you're not really going to get anywhere with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I've tried it. I've tried setting everything up here, and I keep getting audio issues, so I couldn't
Oh,
figure it out. I didn't have the knowledge to figure out exactly what was going on, so
yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, I have a camera issue over here with my. I'll just quickly just turn my camera so you can see my drawing table right there.
Hmm.
So I got my mic, I got my camera, and the thing that it's attached to, the shelf.
The
It's
mount, yeah.
yeah. Well, no. Well, the mount is attached to a shelf, and the shelf isn't screwed in.
Oh,
So I only have very lightweight like toys and some art supplies on there. But if I forget to hold the shelf while I pull the camera to
it'll
adjust,
pull the whole thing. Yeah.
yes. So I don't go on there with traditional stuff as much as I used to. I'd like
Yeah.
to fix that. I just haven't had a chance to. Um, but I'll fix that at some point, and then maybe I'll start again. I miss recording myself drawing. So it was always nice talking with people. Anyway, though, sidetracking, and I don't want to keep you too long because I'm assuming you're going to go on Whatnot right after this
In a little bit, yeah.
in a little bit. So let me ask you this then. You're doing some cover art for places. You got your design work. You're doing your own comics. Is there a project like, whether it's indie or like of your own, or is there like a company out there like with a character that you want to work on that you're like trying to get?
There's a few.
Mhm.
I would love to do some I Hate Fairyland. I would love to do a cover
Okay.
for that. I
Yeah.
would love to do a cover for Venom,
Mhm.
Carnage, anything symbiote related. I love drawing those characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're so dynamic with like all the stuff coming off them, and I think
Mhm.
it's so cool. Um, I love the darkness. I love Witchblade, and the Pit, but of course, that's not happening. But
Yeah.
you
I
know,
haven't heard Witchblade in a while. That was a good comic.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah. I'll have to see if there's any good old trades of her. You know.
there are.
Yeah. I used to. I, again, I don't want to keep you, so I'm gonna just
No, I
do
mean,
this as quick as possible. So, like I told you, I'm a big Silver Age fan, mostly of DC, but I've read everything. And when I got into comics, I got into it in '89. So the '90s things started changing. By '92, we had Image Comics. We had what was it, the new X-Men, with Jim Lee working on it or
great
whatever. So
stuff.
Image probably
Yeah.
came Image what? Was Image out officially in 92 or 93, whatever it was, and I was in high school when Image came out. I remember that. And I was in 10th grade when um, Jim Lee was doing X-Men. So that was 91, I think. Whoops. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, your camera. Okay. Um, so that was like 91. So 92 or 93 Image comes out. So I saw all of that, and I remember reading like the first 10 issues of like Spawn and all the Image books that came out, but they weren't for me. You know, I felt, I don't know, I just couldn't get into the stories. I thought the art was great, and they and 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 I'll tell you right now, McFarlane and Liefeld are my two dream guests for this show, at separate times. And it's because McFarlane, I just want to, I would love just to hear. He's such a smart man business wise for
Oh
the
yeah,
industry. I would
yeah,
love to talk to him. And with Liefeld, it's like you just bring up a comic to him, whatever. He's like a 10-year-old boy reading comics again. And he just gets so excited. And I love that energy he puts out when he's talking about comics. So he's like someone I'd love to. I wouldn't even need to discuss his work unless he wanted to. I could just talk comics with him and have a great time. But like I saw all this stuff come out, and I'm like, nah, this isn't for. And I feel we got like the dark ages because everybody had to compete with Image. So Superman dies, Batman's back gets broken, Wolverine loses adamantium, the Thing's face gets torn off a bit. Like all this stuff happened, and then it's like I don't know. I feel like we never kind of officially got back on track with everything. Kind of still stayed a little dark, even though there was a little brightness in books. There was a little dark. So I tend to, like I said, I go back. I think kind of retro. I understand why like when you got into it and you saw the pit and you saw this darkness, it was like oh my god. But I think growing up the way I did and reading all this old stuff, you know, and then seeing the dark, I mean, don't get me wrong, I bought everything. I mean, I had
yeah.
30 boxes of comics. I read it all, but I just, I just loved what the older stuff did. But I think like I would love to see some of these guys do their own take on these classic stories, but not make them always so dark. I want to see that light back.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not there. I mean, there's people who do it, indie guys. There's some comic companies out there doing it and whatnot. So I'm not trying to knock comics. I really love it, and like I said, I read everything, so I was inspired by it. It was what got me into what I was making comics with. But I just find it's different now,
Hmm.
and I feel the '90s was a big change, and there's people, there's companies that haven't or not companies, but or maybe indies if you want to call it that haven't left the '90s yet, you
Right,
know.
right.
And and I'm dying to see like I said, I'm dying to see your book because just from talking to you, I hear your influences, but I can tell that you're a guy who, yeah, these are influences, but like you said, you want to do your own thing with it. So you're
Yeah.
not trying to copy and bring it in. And
Mm-mm.
and I wanted to ask you this, I forgot. So with the penguin story, the penguino, it's called, right?
Mhm.
That's cartoon animals. Is that something that you were always like attracted to, or was that something you made a decision to do because you maybe they were easier to draw at the time, or you were learning?
That part of it. That's a
Okay.
part of it. I didn't know if I wanted to do comics. So first thing I wanted to do was create a character
Yeah.
and create something simple. I didn't know if I was going to want to draw this character 100 times, panel by panel by panel. You know,
Yeah.
the idea of drawing the same thing over and over again, which is why I didn't get into animation, is because it seems so redundant and like just so monotonous. Like I can't wrap my head around animation enough to do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even comics, I was like, the idea of doing that with comics, I was like, I don't know, man. So I was like, let me come up with a simple design. Here's a penguin, put on a red scarf, something that makes him stand out in the frozen tundra. Give him a samurai sword, give him an attitude, and let's put him into a world and see where he goes. And that's how it came
That's
about.
brilliant. That's brilliant. I really love it. I really love it. I can't wait to see it. I'm gonna have to talk to you about getting a copy.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, listen, I don't want to keep you. I'm sure you and I can sit here and talk a lot more about comics. I do have other questions for you, but I think I'll hold off and invite you back in the future.
Fair
Um,
enough.
and maybe we'll do a special show when, maybe during the day when you're not getting ready to stream at night. I don't want to take you away from your
I'm in
streaming.
no rush. I'm chilling. It's all good.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay. I get it because if there's something I'm used to doing, and you got a regular fan base now who watches you, they know you go on at a
Right.
certain
Yeah, they
time.
message me. They're like, "You're late." Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So I want you to get to them. I don't want to keep you from that. So,
No, it's all good.
listen, you go do that. I really had a pleasure talking. I would love to have you back
You too.
on.
You too.
I do have like I said, I do have other questions, but it's more about just the comic world and navigating in there. Like, I mean, I'll just tell you right now, you don't have to answer anything, but like you said you started doing shows and you started meeting people, like, I'd love to talk to you about your process and how you started getting work from just going to shows. I mean, listen,
Hmm.
I've been doing shows since 97. I know how the business works, but I find it fascinating because, like I said, I've been doing this since '97. That's almost 30 years now that I've been doing shows. Compared to how long I've been doing it, you're kind of new. So it's a
Yeah.
whole new process, a whole new way of interacting, possibly. And I'd love to hear the thoughts on that. But let's save that for another show.
Okay.
you know,
I'll be honest. I don't have a lot of show experience. I've only done a couple of Comic Cons here and there back in New York when I was in New York, and then I moved to North Carolina like 6 years ago.
okay.
I did one show here. I think it was Heroes Con.
Oh, that's supposed to be a really good show. I
I
haven't
think
been.
it was Heroes Con, and that was pretty cool. And then after that, I hadn't, because travel's been so much, and we only have the one car right now, so it's a whole bunch of different things. But
I'm in the same boat. I'm doing a show next weekend. I'll be in Allentown, I believe it is, Pennsylvania, for the Lehigh Valley Comic Con.
hmm.
Um, and then the following week, I'll be in White Plains, New York, at Undiscovered Realm Con. So
Okay.
those are and that's all I have booked for this year. So
Okay.
2 weeks in a row, and I just got the Lehigh Valley because for those who don't remember, just quick pitch. Kid in a Comic newspaper. Where am I? Right there, the Whimsical Whiz. That's my strip right there, the little wizard. Let's turn him
I
this.
did stuff for Kid in the Comic. He's a
Oh, you
great
did?
guy. He's a
What?
great guy.
I'm going as one of the guys representing Kid in a Comic in the charity. What was your strip?
Penguino. I did a little.
Oh,
I did a like weekly side Penguino, but I don't do it anymore. I had to back out because it was too much to handle on my end
okay.
with everything else
When
going on.
was it in the first year? Because I started the second year.
I think it was in the first year.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
have to see if I can get copies because I started in the second year. But I have a new strip coming. I'm stopping the Whimsical Whiz and starting whenever what is it, July or August when the new one comes out. I have a new strip called the Inkfarer Draws. It's going to be a how to draw strip.
Oh, that's cool.
Character, the Inkfarer. So, yeah, that's it. Anyway, let me let you go. Let's get you on to whatnot. Maybe I'll tune in tonight if I get a chance and see what it's all about. And yeah, listen, thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time out of your day and talking. I always enjoy chatting with artists and learning about them, learning about their stuff. Like I said, I do want to talk to you about getting a copy of your book. I'm very interested in it. So yeah. So you guys who before I forget, I want to just remind everyone it's Def Shogun, DEF, and then the word Shogun is your social media handle.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, like I said, we'll get you back on. Everybody watching, thank you for tuning in live. If you're watching afterwards, thank you. Wherever you're watching, the whole like, subscribe, follow stuff. And I'll be back next week with another guest. I will see you guys later. All right.
See ya.
Bye, guys.